Darklight. How nice to see you. I should make it possible for you to see me. After I go ahead and say, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Sergeant Killer Snow with Snow Studio Games. And today we're going to be trying to create an RPG game battle system kind of thing. And when I hear that, I think the simplest thing that comes to mind is like a Final Fantasy battle system or like a Pokemon battle system, because it's kind of the same. It's the turn-based. The requirement is that it's a turn-based thing, and the example given, which I don't know why I haven't taken it upon myself to pay more attention, that there have been examples provided to see what could like possibly guide my image a little bit, and thank God for that. Better late than never. Because the example given was basically this cool little battle against an AI in like a Pokemon-like system where there was the sprite that you controlled and the one that the enemy controlled, and they reacted when they did things, and it was cool. And it was pretty snappy and quick. I enjoyed it. So I have certain requirements that I have to hit. The player has to have 4 actions available, being attack, defend, magic, and use item. The player must have 2 visible stats on screen, which are hit points and magic points, so HP and NP, which falls right in line with having attack and magic, and defense, honestly. Items, I'll have to come up with probably just some stuff to either cure a status effect or cure, their own health. And then the enemy will have to have a simple AI that I'll have to build, which hopefully shouldn't be too bad, since it's not gonna have to do any kind of enemy movement. Movement is what kills me. That kills a lot of momentum for me, because trying to make enemies move the way you want them to, exactly the way you want them to rather, can be touchy. Anyway, now that I've said all that, oh no, where are my glasses? Oh, there they are. I can't be seen without my glasses. I want to make sure that I can see through my glasses. That'd be very nice. We'll use the main scene. The Unreal that I created was not very... I don't know what the word is. Intuitive? I'm not very intuitive as it is. Anyway. Toss that on there. Maybe raise this up another... Yeah, that should be safe. And I've been getting carpal tunnel. I've been working way too damn much. But that said, let's get to more work. So, what we're looking at right here, I have an empty scene. There's a camera in here, technically. And I have this empty UI canvas. I've already scaled it, because if you go ahead and drop, you go up here, you type canvas, you drag your canvas panel onto here, which is what I did. And if you try and scale it, it'll show you the most popular sizes for stuff, including vertical for, mobile devices. That's the word I'm looking for. But I like to try and develop at 1920 by 1080. It's a safe 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and generally a lot of people can pull the 720 to 1080 HD as a baseline for the most part nowadays, unless they're using much older technology. But I try and build to the current standard, because eventually people will have to upgrade. Unfortunately, parts will degrade. What is going on? Oh, those stupid account things. Never tie your school account into your home computer. It's a horrible idea. every time they refresh their servers over there, it'll go ahead and knock off your authentication, and it'll keep on giving you those notifications forever. Anyway, we need certain things. I don't have an image for the background, but I'm going to put something out here, and we're going to name this background. I'll leave it as a variable for right now. The background will take up the entirety, of course. Yeah, no, I was on to you. Yeah, no, no. Don't. Hey. That's right. Not getting away with it. Not with me. Here we go. And he's done. Background. Now this, what we do with this is we set that there. And, oh my god, pan over. Set that there. What that does is tell it that no matter what the scale is, that this is going to match the scale that it's supposed to be at. Love these little scalers. Now, the question is, I don't think I got the image to actually be the correct size. That's what I thought. Gots to get close enough. Because if not, you'll wind up with these, Alright, I can zoom out to get to the other side. Yeah. If not, when it's played, depending on the type of monitor and, you know, setup that a person's using, aspect ratio that they choose to set the game to, there might be an empty, like, gap in there that'll show the empty space or the game in the background. It'll look gaudy. We're professionals. We do things correctly. Okay. Even if it's all experimental to us, because I do not do well when it comes to UI-based stuff. That is unquestionably one of my weak points when it comes to designing anything in a game engine currently. And save systems, I guess. I'm not too familiar with them. Still working on committing some things to memory. Autosave, cut it out. There's not much there. Anyway. We're gonna set the color of this right now, just, not totally blacked out, but just grayscale, because we don't have an image yet for our background. So when we do, we'll have to set this color back to complete white, because like we said in our previous stream, whenever you're trying to use a sprite color or an image, when you need to use the color settings on it, it needs to be at white to retain the color that was intended with that image. Unless you want to tint it a certain other color. Then you can mess with it. At least it autosaves, Godot doesn't. See, that's when you hotkey save to something, or you memorize the hotkey to something. My keyboard's got like these 6 keys on the left side of it that usually just get in my way, but whenever I find a program that doesn't comply with certain other things or has a lot of hotkeys that would be really useful to save me trouble from going through 8 different menus that I obviously will forget, I'll go ahead and try and bind as many of them to those as I can. And even the Azeron keyboard helps for that too, because I can just bind 29 different keys to my fingers. But then that's a little excessive if I'm trying to do something that's not really already a pre-made game. I'll admit, I'm not about to be using that thing for my game development. On a committed level, at least. Might not be bad as an offhand thing for artists, though. For people doing, using, what do you call it? Photoshop and various other drawing programs, painting programs. You can use the Azeron keyboard in your left hand. That's just chilling there. It's got a thumbstick, so you can go ahead and move a mouse around if you want to. And then you can use all the keys for hotkeys for literally everything that you could probably ever need, and use your stylus for whatever you want. That actually sounds quite nice. I'm now considering that for myself. When I have time. When I have nothing but time. And worries. Okay. We want to place... There's going to be obviously some buttons here and there. Border is a container widget that can contain one child widget, providing an opportunity to surround it with a background image and an adjustable padding. Oh. Oh yes. Sure, why not? So we want to have a box where we would be able to input commands. Make it like this right now. We want to do this. Oh, I dislike how you snap. Why? Don't be weird. No. Like you just jumped a whole almost 20 increment. Okay, here's what I'll do. Slowly. No, the other way. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Wait, is that just supposed to be 0? Son of a bitch. I guess. Yeah. Nah, just 0 all that out. Oh, that's wonderful. I know that for the future. Oh, yes. I'm never gonna drag those things around ever again. That's it. That's it. It's always just gonna be come here to the offsets, 0 it out. It'll understand. It will comply. I love that. Oh, that's so good. I've been so tired of that snapping BS. Okay. So we have that for our current little area. I think I'll attach a text to it for right now. And the text will have to say... Yes, main actions. Can we... Yeah, there we go. Alright. Oh. Is there... Can I... Am I allowed to move you? No, I may not, apparently. That's fine. Right now, I'm just trying to lay things out. We'll need another border over here. Kind of drop down from within. This is going to be the sub menu. This will be what pops up when you go ahead and select one of your actions, so that way you can see the available actions within that category. position that right there. Make sure that this menu would be over the sprite just ever so slightly. You know what? I can just move it the hell over. Why not? This can be like an isometric looking area that pans between the two characters. Maybe make you a little taller, yeah? What can we find for an image for this? We can find some fakey little thing. This is perfect. Yeah! That's our guy. Alright. That's our first little schoolyard scrapper. Oh, I know the thumbnail for this video is absolute ass. The reason that we scheduled and started at 5:05 is because I've been kind of scrambling to get things together, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm still using the old Kuranos one for a thumbnail image. I need to swap that out. That's the last thing I had preset saved on there, rather. So, whoops. I tried to make something real fast, and then I was like, oh damn, it's already like the time I should have hit the live button, so let's go ahead and schedule and start it for 5 minutes later. Let me try and brainstorm, try and think of something. You know what? Out of time. That was my thought process. That's how great and coordinated I am. So currently, what happened to my submenu? On. Hello? Hello, hello? Thank you. Okay. So we have that. We're going to want... First, let's see where our enemy would be around here. Say right there. Ooh, I think I might have the option to invert it, so... Yeah. By being smart. Is it gonna work? No? No! It's fine. I think I can... No! Unfortunate. This will not work. Whatever, you work as a visual representation. Nothing more. I won't let it bother me. I just know you transform. Oh wait, no, that's what I was just messing with and... Wait, right? No, it wasn't. Interesting. Set that at 1850. I'm looking at measurements up here. BT dubs. Between 1450 and 1850 makes it pretty much exactly 400 pixels wide. I really wish I could invert you. It's gonna bother me so much. Next, we want to have a camera refresh. trying to think here. How do I want the enemy's UI space to be? Because I'm thinking there might be status effects involved. There's definitely going to be damage involved, so obviously this is going to encompass having the enemy's health bar in there. Enemy's also going to have mana. Should this be where we put our health stats? It feels like not, because of the fact that most of our stuff is like here. We could do vertical bars. We could do vertical slider bars for the health. For health and mana. Almost like a Diablo representation, where it's like the globe that's filled up, but we'll just do bars. I don't really feel like trying to be fancy to get this like looking pretty. I need this to be good and functional, but I want the design to be solid for it. So if we do vertical bars for us, it only makes sense to have vertical bars for the enemy. So I'll scoot the enemy over to start roughly around the 1200 mark. No, that's probably a little past it. Because remember, all this empty space is still a part of our sprite. We'll do 1200 to 16. Makes sense there. Where do you start up here? You're almost at the 0, but not quite. That's almost like right at the 50. I can appreciate that. And I want to leave about that much space as like a buffer. I might honestly move this over a little bit. Hello? Oh, I'm not grabbing the text, I'm grabbing the main thing. Please. Scoot a little more. And also 0, 0, 0, 0. Because I learned that. I taught myself. It's a wonderful thing. That means the text is always going to be within that space as well. We're going to wind up putting buttons within those. We'll like ditch the main actions text and the submenu text. We'll obviously get rid of those altogether. We're just going to use that as kind of like an alignment space to place 4 buttons in the main actions, and then like I'm gonna have to do like one of those slide bars for items probably. Not a slide bar, but you know, the roulette thing where it'll increment through your inventory and show you the things that you have. But that shouldn't be what well, the action commands can also be the same. It can be the same kind of little roulette thing. Hello, Omar. Of everything we own digitally... Oh, this is going to be the start of something. I shall wait. Diligently. So we're gonna need space for the health and mana. So let's say that our character sprite starts around there. It's about 150. Yeah, right around there, 150. And that's kind of wide. Set you to about 500. Let's see if I got that lined up. Almost. Almost. Alright, now height. Want to check and make sure. Actually, that's giving it just a slight tiny bit more of a pixel than needed, but that's good. I don't know what type of info I'd keep up here then for the enemy if its health is going to be represented over here. Name, stats, probably. Doesn't need to be this whole space either. I think I can condense it to this being the enemy name and afflictions. Also, let me see where this height is at. Oh my god, that's a perfect 50 pixel mark. Exactly what I wanted. Drop that to about there. No, we're actually overlapping the what do you call it now. But not by much. You want to get these scalings right. 900 gives it about a 350 space. And from 50 pixels to drop it to 200. Yeah. Feels like it could be good for name and affliction icons. I guess it may have. Let me double check. I forgot to have my YouTube Studio thing open. Let's take a look at this in the control room. Because it doesn't show me anything that's been censored on OBS. I'm not seeing anything about chat being blocked or anything. Moderation activity is even deactivated, looks like. So it was something that probably YouTube itself grabbed up that I don't have control over. Quite possibly. Sorry for that. Let me compile and save this because I know that the autosaves are like, please let us do our thing. So I want to go ahead and put some text in this spot right here, so that way we remember that this is intended to be enemy name and current afflictions via icons. Okay, that looks fantastic. Let's do this. Can you? You don't? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. There you go. You figured out the word wrap thing. It's fine. Okay. Next. This is trying to design and develop an RPG-like battle system. So right now I'm just putting in like placeholders and stuff that will tell me where I want to put the things that I am kind of meeting out here. So I would want our character sprite to be over here. I would want the enemy sprite to be over here. Their name and afflictions that they currently have, if any, over there. This is where our main actions would be. Like right now, I'm scared about hackers just destroying everything. If there's nothing that you can do whatsoever about it, if it is something that is either an inevitability or so completely out of your personal control, why let it occupy whatever time you have to experience things in a more positive way? If they're gonna do something awful and destroy the world, at a worst case scenario, would you want to spend the last bits of your time worrying about that? Or would you want to go ahead and go spend time with the people you care for? Do something more enjoyable. Because what else is really to mourn being lost that is greater than the loss of human life, you know? If they destroy the things on the internet, if they destroy those automated infrastructures, yes, that will be devastating. But the worst loss is going to be any loss of life that comes from it. But it won't be a loss of everything. You know, people that their literal health is reliant on those automated systems, that will be the true tragedy. Anyone else will be pretty much adapt to the situation and move on. Because all of these automated systems are basically just governing things that we used to already do. It's all it is. These are all just things of convenience. This live stream could be done way more ineffectively and slower, but it could still be done through like analog cable television things and stuff like that, and it wouldn't be interactive. It's just called television. I'd be doing this, I would be narrating, it would be something probably instructional and or of some entertainment value afterwards, with a whole bunch of stuff interclipped where all of this is truncated into about 20 minutes, but that's exactly what it would be, because that's what it used to be. Hackers destroy everything, it will wind up being rebuilt in a way where they won't be able to do that, or they will recreate it in their image, and then whatever the world becomes after that will be that. We as a species are built to adapt. That is what we have done, constantly. Sometimes to our detriment. Adapting is survival. If it doesn't kill you outright, learn from it. Learn from it, keep on living. And then learn the difference between living and surviving, too. That's something very important. Every death I hear about that gets reported due to war, due to these rocket attacks, these drones that are making things even more depersonalized, I'm not thinking about the collateral damage of buildings. I'm thinking of the people that are gone. I'm thinking of the families. Each individual person was like me. The near countless memories I have, they also lived a life of an amount of time equal to something. And they had experiences, and those were all cut short. Some of those people died younger than me, which would be like thinking that I didn't get to live the last good 4 or 5 years of my life. And I wouldn't have enjoyed that at all. I would not have enjoyed an end back then. As much as I was seemingly ready to accept it. No, I would not have enjoyed that out. I want to have done something much better with my life. So, like, it's... adapt. Adapt, you got it. Let's hope the hackers are hacktivists, and the only things they destroy are the things that are keeping people kind of nailed down at the wrists and wallets. This country never really stopped being a slave country. It just stopped being racist about it, and it started implementing classism instead. It's the same thing. Just took a little longer to implement, to the point where it made them more profit that we didn't care about or notice. What do I want to do with this space over here? I'm curious. What did, I want to take a look at that project again, if I've still got it here. I should. Where are you? Yeah, this one. Please tell me you're still working, right? Cool. So this was, what the instructor described as a, like, B assignment. Or a B+. I don't want the... I'm just gonna go for the high graphics. I want to learn how to do this little pop-up, because I've seen it pop up with a few of their things there. Even gives you the inputs. Oh boy. Submit, enter, return, yep. Jump, bunch of joystick buttons. Okay. That's a rebinding menu too, by the way, so I was able to rebind there if I truly wanted to. So, let's see, he set S key to start. The plan is to eat live octopus, which means we, I guess, have to defeat the live octopus. Behind the scenes, this supposedly would have rolled stats for us. We can use a special. It costs 20 MP that no one can dodge. We can attack, defend. We probably don't want to defend until we're low on health. And we have 3 items to restore health. I've already played this and beat it before. It's also kicked my ass before. So we'll just attack and throw the soy sauce at it. 49 damage versus 22 damage. Alright. We'll just keep on doing this until I take just one more good hit of damage. Holy shit! And now we go on a healing spree and heal everything it does to us. And now we go back to attacking. Oh, look at that. It decides to defend. Okay. Then we're going to use our special. We're going to attack. It decides to supersonic dodge. We're going to keep on throwing the chapstick. Oh, chopsticks. We win. We used a lot of MP, but I'm honestly very satisfied that we ended on a 20 out of 100, 20 out of 100. That's fun. But this was someone else's project. This is what they completed, and like it's not bad. It plays smoothly. It didn't freak out about me inputting, spamming buttons and stuff like that, so we know that there's some sort of time delays in there to go ahead and make sure that we don't overtax the system or outpace the animations. This person obviously made their own stuff really quick on the spot. And I luckily have a repository of sprites that I can work with. I just haven't taken the time to go through them yet, so we can probably do a little of that here as well. So I suppose we can honestly... But is there a reason to make that bigger UI problem? Oh, I figured out a possible use for this space. Putting our stats. Gonna border up over here at about the 50 mark, possibly. Yeah, right there. Up to about 350. Drop it from... Where are we at here? Oh, did we actually, like... Yeah, almost. Awesome. So we're giving it a 50 pixel border around the area manually. And when we scale everything, we'll have to go through all of these after we put our actual committed solid objects in there. So that way, when I say solid objects, what I meant was the more permanent assets, such as the buttons we're going to be using, the actual images and sprites that we're going to be using. We'll start slotting them into their appropriate places. We'll make sure we'll set the appropriate things to variables that need to be variables, so that way we can edit them in code through the graph over here. But for right now, let's make sure that we have enough space here to display our stats in a readable way. The reason I gave it about a 300 pixel spacing is so that way, if we want to, we can set it to have the stat name on the left with the number on the right. Maybe split that by 100 right there, leaving 200 pixels of space for the name of the stat, and then we can go down and subdivide however we want to lay that out. We can. It's important to get your sizings correct on things. We're going to change the name of this to player stats. Player stats window. This one is enemy stat window. No, that's not right. Because I might have the option to have the enemy stat window over there. Or if you use magic to scan them or whatever, it'll pop up. So let's not do enemy stat window, we'll do enemy name and state late. And now we need to do the, not a progress bar. Is it a progress bar? We'll say progress bar. Player health. We want this to be bottom to top. And we want that, we wanted that space to be approximately yeah, 50 pixels wide for each bar. You don't want it to take up too much space. Let's see, how tall is this? 750. That's good. That's fine. Now we're going to want this to definitely have a different color. Oh yeah, that's background image. Currently don't have anything. Fill image. Background's going to be red. Like a deep, there you go. And, Gonna also set this to be a lovely shade of green. Fill animation. Oh, disable if you have a custom material which animates itself. Nah, we'll leave that be for right now. So theoretically, if we increase the value of it, it should have something. It's my professional response. Let's see. Whenever I make UI stuff, I usually do it in Unity. Oh, open progress bar. Oh no, not there. Not that. That's not what I wanted. Why is the fill color set to like blue? I didn't want to open you, I'm so sorry. Close that out, thank you. There should be like a test value thing somewhere. Well, I don't see it. Oh, there we go, percent. Player health. And now we can basically duplicate that. Kinda nudge it together there a little bit. Don't be difficult. What? Why are you being like this? Okay. There you go. Is that so? You. What the? We're just gonna scale you. There you go. Now where? Oh, where? Okay, you're like right at the 50 mark. That's fine. You're overlapping though. No overlapping. But you weren't overlapping. That was just a perspective trick. I see. F the eyes. I'm gonna make that kind of there, but then kind of there. For the background image, which is basically the oh no, I'm empty image. And that lovely light blue shade for when there is mana available. How lovely. We'll change the percentage on that just a little bit, so that way it looks different for right now, visually speaking. And we'll change this from player health to player mana. can hide the text. Text and text. Enemy image. You can put enemy sprite. Image 1 is going to be player sprite. We're also going to rein in our size here because apparently our player's a little thick, a little swole, a little tall. There you go. What about width? 250. You're fine. Okay. This shouldn't be too terrible for a setup. I didn't put any text on this saying what it was, except for the label for it, but I need something a little more visual for myself. Toss text in there, make the text color visible because they keep making everything by default white. And we'll set this to player stats. And we can duplicate this. Drag it over. Place it approximately at that 400 pixel mark, I'd say. Player needs to have their... No, not the text for the player. Come on now. Respect the authority. There you go. Yes. You're still shorter. Don't mess with me. Please, no. Don't do it. You wouldn't like me when I'm ornery about something. Good enough. Better than government work. The Internet Archive is neutral, that they even have radical physical books in their archive. Well, yes, the Internet Archive was created for the purpose of being like the one place where we preserve the internet, the human history on the internet, pretty much. Ever since the inception of the internet. Because it's especially becoming very real that we can, you know, lose anything that's on the internet at a moment's notice. Even before the hackers, like, when you think about it, they've been moving everything to digital media across the board. So now, let's say your government really wants to control you, they can just start swiping things off of the internet. Just gone. They can control what you understand of history from that point on. They can nitpick what people are being shown via the internet service providers. They can catch any incoming and outgoing communications with AI's help as well. Not that they needed it before, but now that they have that as an option, it's something that can happen, yeah. There's any number of things that you can worry about for the future. There's always going to be evil people, so long as there is the notion of perceived power that they can attain that will make them somehow elevated above other people. It's not something that's been a new concept. There were pharaohs. And far, far down the line before that as well. Chicken strips. Yes. I don't remember when those were invented, but excellent invention. Let me go grab hopefully grab a water. I don't remember if I filled up any of my water bottles, so give me a second. It'll be right back, scene real quick. Alright, so the news is I forgot to refill my water, but I also still had half a gallon of nice cold water ready. So I'm going to be filling up 2 gallons of water real quick. Refilling. Take this as a hydration break. Drink water. Sorry, there's 1 more gallon filling up right now. Everything else is good. Let me put the cap on this water before I accidentally do something stupid like knock it over trying to reach for my phone. And then dump all of this water all over. Oh, that's my official mailing ballot. I need to do that. Don't forget to vote. Keep idiots out of office. Back to the scene. Alright. We need to change the text on this so that way I don't get confused. This is... let's say revealable enemy stats. I might be able to have the player stats also cycle through something or another, maybe like a move history, if possible. Oh, let me duplicate the player health and player mana, so that way we can effectively move those together. Ooh. Okay. Thought I wouldn't notice, but I did. That's a shame. So let's go ahead and do... oh, they won't let me duplicate them both. Alright, fine. Do a copy, and then hopefully just come over here and paste. You gonna let me do that? No? Paste? Yeah! So... 50 mark. Right. Approximately there. I'll fix it up to be all deliciously meticulous here in a moment. I'm not gonna mess with your height really yet. Why did it keep... why do I not learn to just do the scaling thing? Oh, wait a minute. No, you're still a little off. I'm dumb. I know. Okay. Okay. This is going to be the part where I have to tune it up a little. We have that, and right around there should be good. If you're in party-dominated state, pretty much your vote doesn't count. They're always going to win either way you vote in that state. Oh. Enough people vote with a different opinion, and then they can knock out the ones that are the very vocal majority currently. Actually, no, not currently, from what I have kept up with. I haven't kept up with much in the past, like, 3-4 weeks, to be fair, because of this rapid game development class. Have not been able to keep up with the debates or anything like that, but I've got a nice, very thick voter pamphlet that I'm going to go through. I'm going to have to pick which class I'm going to ignore, because I'm not going to let that slip through. Rename this one to Enemy Mana, so that way we can do the same with this. Enemy Health. And that should be fine. This dull gray background is just going to be like, picture if you have seen gameplay of it already, the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Into the Pit, or the newer one of the new. There's so many. So Into the Pit had actually some really impressive 2D pixel animations and 2D pixel sprites that were just really emotive and expressive. Their colors were actually quite impressive, and the thing that really impressed me with FNAF Into the Pit's graphics was the animations in particular. Some of them were so incredibly smooth, I forgot that I was looking at like a 2D sprite just moving different shades of pixels around to simulate motion. But it was doing it so effectively. Anyway, there's a school area there, and I want to kind of see if I can find something or create a similar environment to their little schoolyard area where they were playing basketball, setting off fireworks. You know what they say, less is more. Yeah, I'm not turning this in. Gotta rename this one. Alright. That should... name the border areas. Main action area. Sub action area. That's good enough. We've named all the other windows. Everything else is good, glorious. So now we just need to find things to kind of fill in these positions, right? Things that we know we're going to need, such as buttons. That are... let's say 365 and 175. For right now. And this button is going to have a text on it. With, for the love of God, a different more visible. Thank you. Color. Okay. And this one's going to be attack. We needed to have, I have my requirements off to the side here. Displaying stats and changes in stats. Okay, so I did need the stats windows anyway. Nice. Keep working scope. Okay, so technically what was asked for this assignment was just the RPG combat system, which is great for me because that means I'm not going to build anything else around this. I'm not going to have like a little character sprite moving around that reaches a point and then suddenly has to fight. I'm going to do exactly what that dude did. You hit start game and then you jump into your combat thing. It's going to be great. Once I have that working, then I can pick the sprites and see if I want to change or have a couple different types of enemy or whatever the case is. But I need to have a way to have stats assigned. They can be randomized at the start, or I can let the player just like keep randomizing their stats until they get to a certain point, or let them assign their stats, whatever. I can decide on that a little later. For right now, I just need to have first the rest of this kind of laid out for myself. So we have the attack. We're gonna need defend, magic, and use item. So we're gonna have the offensive ones at the very top. Actually, question, I don't think this is going to be the right size to, yeah, there you go. Rename this from attack 1 to... We'll call this defend. I want to put this on the bottom. So that way I have a way to kind of measure... Oops. Where did defend go? They put it up here in the corner. Okay, now I can start worrying about getting the scaling right, because I have this as a little bit of a guide. So let's say I want to give a little distance from the edges of this border. That seems like a good little bit. Which means I would need to shrink that up a bit. Say right around there. Yeah, that feels good. But we're also gonna do that a little bit, and we'll do the same over here. Kind of even up the amount that they're losing. So wait, what's your top out here? Screw it. We're gonna set you to 700. So you're with that. We'll work with that. I'm looking up here, by the way. Little green line is where I'm looking to find the pixel lengths and stuff. And though I'm not making them like an exact pixel replica yet, I am trying to maintain some level of cohesion. Okay. That'll be good. Might need to also make them a little thinner. So that way I can allow a little space between the magic and use item buttons. What? Oh, the worker school account problem. No kidding. Huh. literal constant reminder to never link my school account with my shit again. And hopefully a forward warning to you all. Don't connect your work or school account to your home computer. Because once their network admins and stuff would go ahead and do their refreshes and, you know, log out all the locations that their linked accounts are, you know, logged in at, you're gonna wind up getting that alert until you log it back in. It's gonna keep fucking doing it. And it's like every day. Can't stand it. Okay. Moving on. Let's change that text. Defend. Text block 356. Damn. Don't ask why the kids have magic. It's gonna be science. Because magic is just undiscovered science. You're not gonna let me have the... yeah, of course you're not gonna let me have that command right there, so let's just do that instead. Pasting in a single slot widget will erase its content. Do you wish to... Oh. Paste out here. There you go. But then we will have to move them in their order here. We're right around here. And now we have to do more resizing of them all. Oh, you won't let me resize them all individually, you say? Oh, wonderful. At least now I have them there so I know what I need to do. Rank that there. Did I give you 50 pixels of space? Yeah, that'll do. Looks good. Oh, wait. Wait. Just a little more space. Give yourself a little more. Why not? 1500 mark. That down there a little bit. Feels like it was a little too far. There you go. The rest is kind of alright. Let me grab both of these. That's right, it won't let me scale multiples at the same time. Tiny little bit more. Okay. This changes to Magique. And this becomes items. Okay. So we're gonna make some enums that these buttons will be able to generate here in the sub menu. And the sub action area actually should draw over the main action area, but these buttons aren't technically applied to those areas. But now that we have those there, I can actually get rid of the text on our main background area, like our main action area. Goodbye. Now we can put these, I'd say, oh lord, no. So they have to go over that. And sub-action area can go over those. I don't like how the hierarchy is, where the lower something is, the more forward it is. Yes, Magique. It's that special unspoken Khajiit brand of magic. Hmm. What next? The sub menu. The sub menu is gonna need one of those input boxes. List. Yeah, list view. What? Why won't you let me drop that in? Virtualized list that allows up to thousands of items to be displayed. An important distinction to keep in mind here is item versus entry. The item itself is based on a list of n items, but only creates as an entry widgets as many entry widgets as can fit on screen. For example, a scrolling list view of 200 items with 5 currently visible will only have created 5 entry widgets. Oh, we have a canvas panel. It's our main canvas. $10 through 100 widgets in a list. Doesn't support virtualization. Okay, that's fine. We don't need virtualization. The reason it won't let me drop it here, I'm guessing, is because then it would attach it to that border, but the border already has an attached text. So it's just kind of vibing. Scroll bar visibility should be visible. Let's see. Animated scrolling wheel is cool. But the question is, there we go. Style. Top shadow brush, bottom shadow brush. Okay. There's like no way to actually see anything there. But this should automatically draw over whatever is there. I'm just gonna put that kind of centered in this area for right now. Because I haven't used a scrolling UI thing, so I will very likely have to look up the information on how to do that. But we can make all the variables that we'd need to work with for all of these. With the exception of defend. I don't feel like defend really needs anything other than yes, no. Like a bool option in code that says, did player choose defend? They did? Really? Okay. Good freeze. Enemy will have to, Am I gonna want a text box? Like a box that says, what actions are happening. Like, player has done this, and then enemy has done this. Have that pop up right here in the center. Huh. I think I can do that. I'm sure I can do that. Especially since I'm just gonna do it with a border for right now. We're gonna call this the action update window. So this is going to be kind of that thing that shows up in games that it's usually like a nice little banner text or something that shows up. In fighting games, it'll be the thing that says round 1. in other types of games, like text-based games, it'll be what shows, you know, what actions are happening right before the animation plays out and then concludes. It'll tell you next turn, stuff like that. That's what I want this box to have. Let's make sure we toss the text in there. Dark color. And be able to say update field reveal when new action executes and new turn begins/ends. Alright, now let's see how long that is. Perfect. So we have that information on there. We're gonna need some panels, which I have a bunch of UI stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling those UI sprites in a little bit. It's bothering me that I can see a difference in the size of the pixeling of attack and magic here. Because not only can it be something that just can annoy me visually, but it's also, I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes in like mobile games in particular, they like to do this. They will make the buttons that will take you to their money spending things much bigger than they really need to be. And if they don't make it like visually bigger, they make it like kind of invisibly bigger, making the faded out portions of the button still clickable or hittable, so that way when you're trying to hit something else, it'll still accidentally take you into the shop. Dislike. Okay. Buttons here. Essentially, I want these buttons to all force the cursor selector to lock into this menu, and then this menu will load in with the enum list for whichever one of these, rather these three over here, attack, magic, and items, because defend is just not that. Whichever those is selected. That's what I want to do. Pixels being off, I shouldn't tell you about the mouse cursor. Oh no, don't do this to me. F off. You hush. Just you hush now. I'll deal with you later. Okay. Found it surprising that people and fans wanted to hate the Silent Hill 2 remake. They were furious about it having good scores. Why does that happen? Because people want something to be mad at. They want to feel important, and they feel, for some reason, most important when they're making noise. And I think a part of that reason is because it gives people attention. So when they're making noise and people give them attention based on that noise, they just keep on trying to find a reason to make noise to keep getting that attention. So that's what they want. They want the attention, and if the game is good, it's that principle of when things are going right, you never hear anything about it. It's when things are going wrong that you're going to hear an uproar, because things are going wrong, people are upset, that's when they're mad. When they're not mad, they're not going to be saying anything because they're occupying their time enjoying the thing. It's because they have a woke consulting agency working on it. That's why people wanted to hate it. That's probably why some people wanted to hate it, but you can't speak for everybody. Really can't. There are those people that just wanted to hate it for that reason, and again, that's still kind of falling back on what I said, right? They're just looking for a reason to hate something so that way they can be loud about it and get attention on the internet. They're receiving it, whether it's under the flag of woke politics and stuff like that, or whether it's something else. Some people claim they uglified the female characters so far. The first female character I've seen in the game looked like a normal girl, so I'm confused. That's the other thing, is that people claim that the people that are saying that people are making video games woke is literally just we're making the characters humanized and more normalized in certain cases, because there are different body types that aren't hourglass or busty for female characters, and you don't hear as much of that crazy bullshit with all of the varieties of male characters. Because I've noticed in a lot of games in recent times, they've had much more body representation for male characters, to the point where there are enemies and playable characters with, you know, a nice sizable gut that's got some jiggle physics on it, and it doesn't hinder them or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's an aesthetic thing, and it's still giving representation to people that aren't, you know, ripped with a 6 to 8 pack and look like an Adonis. You don't need to look like that in all your games. And you don't need to have characters that are really high def to tell that, you know, the character is supposed to be a certain build type based off the way they move, the way they carry themselves, and stuff like that. So graphics can't even really protect against that. Like, you could tell that Cloud Strife wasn't a fat dude in Final Fantasy VII, even though the characters were blocky as shit. You could tell that Biggs was. Or was it Wedge? Could never tell. They were both always in the same scenes together until they weren't. But you could tell. But it was one of those things where it was a body type representation, which is why those characters were, like, so beloved, is because they were two lovable characters just narratively speaking, but there was also a body type representation there, a differentiation between them and others. You know? And that meant that other people could grab onto that character and relate, because it looked a little like them. That's all people want, is a little representation. Now, in my opinion, representation doesn't need to take the form of overwriting characters that already exist to then make them have inclusive traits that they didn't previously have. But if those seeds were sown throughout their, you know, creation process, and then kind of stored away because of political climates that they didn't want to stir anything up, because I know that's happened as well. There's ways to do things, but you don't need to take already every pre-existing character and then, you know, twist them into a new character when you could just try and be creative and make a new character. Character creator for New Dragon Age, moving the butt size. Butt size never changed anything of the character. I found that odd, since there are a lot of people that would want to create themselves in the game but can't. Yeah. Wait, it didn't for you? It did for mine. It didn't change it to, like, incredible levels, but there was definitely changes. Might be a graphic thing. Wait, were you playing console or PC? Sorry about that. All I'm saying is you haven't heard anyone complaining about the body types of the men in games, right? You haven't heard about them, you know, bastardizing the size of the male druid character in Diablo 4. That person probably didn't have their graphics up. If they turned up their graphics, they might see something more. It's all gonna look like the same, variant of a block if it's gonna be, like, lower graphics. I played that game on max graphics. I couldn't do it on stream when I was playing it on max graphics because of the fact that it really tanked a few things. But by myself, maxed out graphics, oh yeah, no, I enjoyed a lot of it. I lost where I was at. That's fine. Actually, wait. Haha! Can't scroll up on that, unfortunate. I'd have to look at the entire transcription. I'm not about to take the time for it to print all that. Is the new Dragon Age out? Talking about that one? I thought it was... Oh, the new Dragon Age. I'm sorry. I thought... My brain went Dragon's Dogma. My bad. No, new Dragon Age is not out. Not to my knowledge. So if that's the case, then that was literally just an in-development thing. So, they probably just didn't work those sliders yet. Which is totally a thing, because I could change the percentage of these sliders, and it would just change the look of the slider. It would change literally nothing else. If I send my HP to 0, I should die, but if I don't bind it to anything, it's not going to do anything. You feel me? So if people want to make presumptions on something that isn't even released yet, they can continue to do that. But all that's kind of done in recent years is make CEOs nervous and then make them apply a fire under the ass of the developers that are trying to do things as quickly and efficiently as they can. So, sorry the big titty, big booby slider is not working and isn't bound correctly. The game's not out yet. Give them time. Quit having people feel me on stream. No, you will feel me. One way or the other. Just be glad you're not being taken to the Diddy Dome. Quite different than the Dimsdale Dimmadome. It's the P. Diddy Diddy Dome. The Diddy Diddle Dome. Good God. Okay. I need sprites. Let me make those, what do you call it? The enums, so that way I don't forget about them. Enums are enumerations. And we want to pick... Do we even need an enumeration for attack? I don't think we do. Attack and defend can pretty much just be bools, because they're going to be the basic versions of stuff. No, there might be a weapon attack and unarmed thing. No, what am I doing? I'm thinking way too much into, like, a full RPG. I'm stupid. So, we're going to make this, magic abilities. And we need one more enumeration for items. Enum description for magic abilities is going to be castable abilities by player or enemy in RPG combat. Let's say that magic relies on intellect. And requires MP as a resource to use. For damage scale. There we go. I think that's a good enough description. First ability. I feel like I'm spelling wrong, but it's okay. I barely get any sleep. Magic, fire damage. One times, int multiplier equals damage number of damage type fire. Let me put the multiplication symbol there because I will stupidly forget. Let me change that 1 to base damage times an intellect multiplier, which would be based off of the int stat. But we don't need to put based off int stat. We'll go based off the generic, like, D&D scaling thing where a certain number of intellect points will give you, or a certain number of attribute points in an attribute will give you +1 to that, and you start with a certain negative value modifier starting at 0 that will change as you progress in that attribute, right? Now I'm gonna have those attributes displayed on our UI in that, like, leftmost border, so that way the player will know what they have bonuses in and what they will have, like, negative modifiers in. I really should look ahead for this class more, so that way I can kind of scope out what the intentions are, because our next module is the midterm module. And I might need to pre-plan. I feel like just having us make the system for this now is going to lead to possibly using it again later. It's just a hunch. So, magic abilities. What's another one? Let's make this a little interactive. Let's come up with something that would be, that could do some sort of elemental damage that you could create or rig up through school. Oh shit, Brian, big brain. Sorry about that. Tried to point out a flaw in my buddy's logic and he countered my logic. And I love that. He big-brained me. I'll have to come up with something else. I like giving critique in the form of, poking through design flaws sometimes, and I was predicting a certain design flaw that was actually going to cause bodily harm if it wasn't addressed. And he was like, yeah, that'd be a problem if I didn't already have this. I'm like, oh, so good! Oh, good God. Alright, so we have fire. Let's think some other elemental things that you could do. Science-y. I don't care if it's like some kids next door level stuff. Because that first ability is basically mimicking a fireball, and just picture a stick figure kid holding up a toy science fair volcano project, and it just starts shooting like really, really hot fire. Go standard elements or go Chinese elements. They're not weird, they're just different. Let's see. Let's say... metal, thunder, bunch of others. Yeah, that's fine. Don't really care. Ooh. non-damaging attack. To reduce enemy or reduce targets accuracy / chance to hit by a certain percentage. Damn. I'm not getting into an entire specific system of elements and stuff like that. I can't get locked in to that level, because then I'll make this too robust for something that's possibly only going to be for a week. The manga you read had used 3 elements: fire, water for healing, and earth for defending. Oh, yeah, that's generally a thing. Was it Avatar? I'm sorry. Generally yes. I'm trying to think less on that level and like more of a let's think of creative gadgetry that a smart kid would make and be able to use in a school fight. Bloodbending, yes, they're teaching children bloodbending at school nowadays. It's one of my favorite classes, except for when it's my turn to be the get fucked. I almost knocked something over, but I didn't. I love this desk. It's got hydraulics holding it up. Fancy. Love me some Avatar. Yeah. It was either I was getting bloodbended or there were fairy godparents nearby, and a little bit of the teacher in me took over. So, next one. Perfect. Thank you. Whoa now, why you gotta keep bringing things to an uncomfortable place on my stream, Williams? Stop it. Stop it. Stop decontextualizing my shit and bringing it to weird places. I gotta stay fucking focused. God, every time with you. Every time. I'm more than a piece of meat. Stop it. Get some help. What type of damage would this potentially do? Probably some form of electric damage. Prevents attack action. I still want to let them use their abilities, but physically, I don't want them to be able to use the regular attack function if they're caught in the fairy godparent trap. I wasn't about to contort myself again. I do have kind of limited space when I'm pressed up this close here. We have a non-damaging ability, we have a fire ability, we have an electric ability. Honestly, I think that is kind of okay. But what if? Uses target attack for 1 turn. Not attack. Let's say strength for 1 turn. That's fine. So we have like 2, possibly 3 kind of defensive abilities. And I feel like we need something that is still more on the offensive side. What say ye? I think I will make an attack enumerator. I'm gonna make some little little weapon variables or something. Smart fungal tech. Ooh. Oh, I think I'll make that an item, actually. I think I'll do chemistry class stuff for the items. So there'll be something for the healing item, which will just be some like flavor boosted Kool-Aid or some shit. But we'll make like a poison thing that will be a mix of fungal toxins and weird shit. Things that a child could access. Yes, a black hole. Seems legit. Let's see. Should I pull open the, should we pull open the item list and just make a couple of quick items while we try and think up another type of science-y in-theme attack? I think I'll do that, just so that way I don't lose too much time on it. Usable items to restore health, mana, or throw at enemies. First one, health potion. Alright, that did actually put quotes on there, nice. Let's see. Restore a percentage of health. It's just... knock off Kool-Aid with extra sucrose. Sugar. let's see. M101 vial underscore. This one's gonna be mana potion. An energy drink. No one knows who keeps smuggling them into the school, but this will keep your mind sharp. Possibly. Cartoon and a cartoonist level of how a smart kid would come up with stuff like Jimmy Neutron or Deck. No, they're not that. They're not going to be that smart. Yeah, nah. No. This is when I said I don't care if it's like kids next door level of ingenuity for the items, I meant like if it's something that can like the 2x4 technology level stuff, but it still kind of has to remain in some form of physics scope. At least in my head. I don't want this to get too outlandishly crazy, because I'm not going to be able to find sprites for super crazy outlandish stuff. I'm really just going to have, like, very base images for this, for our animation's sake and whatnot. I'm going to have to spend a good amount of time, like, going through Google and finding some shit, too. Like, I'm not even going to front on that. It's going to be a rough, quick, thrown together thing that I'm probably going to make a lot of the sprites for, like, after stream and, like, between today and the next stream on Sunday, which will have me working on, creating a basic melee enemy for that combat design project. I'll be working on that, on Sunday for a couple hours before switching back to working on this, and we'll see how far I got on Saturday. Which would be tomorrow. My brain jumps back and forth through time like crazy. We have that. And then we're gonna have like M101 underscore file underscore ecology mix. A mix of potentially poisonous mushroom spores mixed with Mountain Dew and a drop of antifreeze. This is inhumane to throw at someone. Monster. Alright, that'll be poison damage. Deals minor physical damage and inflicts poison. Aha! Okay, we're also gonna need, I remember now, we wanted to create the attack one. I decided that we're actually going to do that and just make like weapons. And it'll be more like just the animation will be the weapon flying from our sprite to theirs, let's be clear. It's not going to be fancy. Physical attack abilities. Let's say basic fisticuffs. Base damage times strength multiplier equals physical damage dealt. Punch to the face. Generally effective. Next. Metal edge ruler. I like putting the underscores in our things here. Slash. Throwing Sharpie to get the enemy addicted and distracted during his or her turn. Oh, a Sharpie haze? That's awesome. That's actually awesome. That's great. I love that. Yeah. We can do that. I'm gonna ditch the snitch to adult. That'll cause me to have to bring another sprite in. We'll substitute it with that. Not scented, but scent. Sharpie scent, haze. How strong is the smell of a 24-pack of Sharpies bound together and uncapped? Let's find out. Speaking of Sharpie haze, dude I knew in middle school used to scribble with industrial Sharpies on a folder and huff it, then asked me if his eyes were dilated. That fool. That foolish fool. I admire his tenacity, but nothing more. Thank you for that addition, Admin. That's a great one. Sharpie scent haze. Alright, the metal-edged ruler slash. Well, that half a brain cell was probably due to that little activity, to be fair. It didn't help. So we're gonna say that this is base damage. I'll just say base damage +1 on this one because I don't want it to be too nutty. Oh, we need the strength multiplier. Times the strength multiplier +1. But we'll do that after we do this basic multiplier thing there. Then equals physical damage plus chance to bleed, afflict bleed. Go. Folded paper and rubber bands. A ranged alternative in case you get trapped and can't quote-unquote physical attack. We can still give a physical attack option that's a ranged attack. I think it would have to be like a two-turn thing. I think I'd want it to be a two-turn thing. Make it like a prep paper bullet, and then the next command it would turn from prep paper bullet to it would become fire, paper, bullet, and then you can launch it and deal your physical damage at a range. I like it. Dry erase marker sword pop into your head, because that's been an image that has been on the internet before. Yeah. Yeah, that has been a thing. Let's go ahead and put that on there. Let's see. Ranged physical. Prep. Paper. Bullet. Part 1 of ranged attack. Wind up. Or rather, wind up of ranged attack. And then ranged physical. Fire. Bullet. Wunderbar. Deal. Ranged physical damage. Why are my fingers so off? That should be enough. For that, at least. Maybe one more melee enemy, melee weapon, like a heavier one. Deal physical damage. Chance to inflict. Wow. Knockout. Okay. Should probably move that one up to... Yeah, there you go. Basic fisticuffs, a metal-edged ruler slash, and chair. These are the weapons of the children in this school. Savagery. And then, of course, the range stuff. The prep paper bullet, and then fire that bullet. Quote-unquote bullet. The chair! Give him the chair! Okay, we have all those, and let's say... we need an enum for... there we go. Turn state. Where is... there it is. Controls flow of each turn. This is going to be where we control things such as... we want what? Begin turn. Oh wait, upkeep. That's where the upkeep step is where you would have things like poison tick downs and stuff like that. Then we have begin turn. Taking turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Yeah, basically. There's not going to be an untap, but an upkeep and the begin turn would be like kind of like a draw step. But that would just be... Begin turn is when you would unlock the player's ability to use their input, move around their menu and stuff like that. And then taking turn is when the player has the ability to move around their inputs, make their choices and decisions. And then you want execute, turn, choices, end turn. That should be good. Now choose menu option. This is where we're going to put buttons to use. Hang on. Not buttons to use. What am I thinking here? I'm basically wanting this enum to control which of those enum menus to load. So I want it to go through basically sub menu to populate. This one's going to be, oh, whoops. None. Default state for when menu is inactive. Next, we're going to want the attack menu. We want the magic menu. Go through and keep with our naming convention as best we can. I know I kind of skipped it on one of them already. I'll go back and fix that eventually. Magic menu selected. Display, not deploy. No. Derp. I literally verbatim copied it. Magic. Attack options. I know that text is already super small, but it's even small for me, and it looks like I'm doing multiplication stars there. I promise I'm not actually doing that. Those are quotes. It's just not big enough to see at the moment. And this one is going to be item menu. Item menu option. Selected. Display. Item options. Good, done. So these magic abilities, the usable items, and attack abilities are what would be populated into the UI's submenu here. And clicking these buttons is basically going to toggle the, you know, the type of state that we're, not the state, the thing that we just made, the menu option. It'll toggle the menu option that we want, and then that will trigger it to load one of these three enumerables into this submenu slot. Now when we do that, we can also go ahead and have basically where it says submenu there, we can have that update itself to go ahead and say basically whichever of the options was chosen, it'll go ahead and pop up there, and then that would be the thing that loads in. So we have those set. We have our turn state. Enemy would basically have just about the same abilities to pick from, and I'll just have to come up with logic for the enemy to go through based off of its health percentage. What else? Status effects. Current status. Actually, I'm not even going to say current. I'm just going to say status effects. Go. Possible status effects to afflict in combat. We know that we had, well, let's have a clean default state, right? Default state. No afflictions. I think the way I'm gonna wind up controlling this is controlled via list in characters that will either have the none option as sole index and list, or will have other afflictions. Should alternate. Not accordingly, I need to move that out of the way. Should alternate accordingly. Oh my god. Based on any possible stacking effects. Alright, now let's put bleed on here. Physical bleed damage per turn. Let's go ahead and do poison. Damage per turn. I don't think we have other status effects. Oh, knockout. We have knockout as something. Or knocked out. Cannot take action. Oh, the haze. Let's say that causes confusion. And minor debuff to int rolls. Let's see. Oh, we need a trapped state. Cannot physical melee attack for X amount of turns, and still use magic, and physical ranged attacks. Okay, savvy, good. Okay, so I have at my disposal a good amount of sprites. I want to go through the Foozle collection again and see what they got. Foozle's the one that made the sprites for the space shooter we just did. This is an RPG set. Interesting. Oh, it's that kind of RPG. Got it. Although, panel's pretty cool. Don't need that. Let's see. Sci-Fi Labs, Scallywag Pirates, Legends Icons, Skills, Spires, Towers, blah, blah, blah. We got a lot of stuff. Critters and Enemies. Critters and Enemies. Not quite. There's a little too much to spread out through there, so let's keep it simple and look just for the UI stuff. Let's start with UI. 3 pixel frames. Let's take a look-see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember those. I'd have to cut through that and figure out which ones I want for buttons specifically, or I can find something that's already kind of set. Game icons of many fantasy things. Oh, yeah, that. Not going to be useful. Wait a minute. Yeah, not going to be useful. GUI images. Hooray! Oh, hey, there we go. Arrows. Oh, they're saved as BMPs. Is that going to matter? Maybe. Pixel art graphic user. Icon styles. Oh, yeah, those are the very, very tiny... Wait, maybe the user interface ones were a little better. Possibly. The menu buttons? Let's see. Nope, nope. Really hard to see. No, I'm trying to create something that'll get me a C. If I'm gonna be quite honest, I'm very creatively demotivated in this class. Because beyond Portal Pong, I haven't really had the time to get attached to any of these in any kind of way to create a story or anything that's really like honed in on like fine-tuning details for a design, because we only have a week. And with what I turned in for the space shooter, his only commentary, at least in text, was tuning, tuning, tuning. I have no time for tuning when I'm still trying to get base functionality, and that literally had no story in it whatsoever. And it was just... It actually became a bullet hell because I didn't get to put in anything to kind of tell it, like, distance measurements and say, hey, when the player gets this far, activate these spawners and stuff like that. I just didn't have the time. And that was with me cramming in the last 10 minutes before submitting it, typing out the things that I did get to include and like the things that I had in my head, and then dropping that in there as well. And that was it. So, though that is a very good question that I would generally appreciate and like to take the time to explore, in all honesty, for this class until we get to the point where after the midterm, because they said that after the midterm it's going to be like one game project that we're going to iterate on. So I'm looking forward to that, but I've lost a lot of my like spark and inspiration to try and like get the nitty-gritty details of how things are going to work specifically. I just wanted to kind of fall in with the title that I came up with, which was Schoolyard Scrap. So, a bunch of kids scrapping it out at school. It's already kind of crazy that the only reason I have like the quote unquote tech and stuff like that is because we have to have MP. We have to have mana involved or some sort of like mana using system. So the way that I could think of that was to kind of combine I never played Earthbound, so I don't know what that's like, but basically a basic RPG combat system like Final Fantasy or Pokemon, as you can see with our layout, but with some kids next door type shit for the most part as their mana system. But their basic attacks would be more along the lines of like, hey, use your unarmed attack, use your various weapon attacks, and yada yada. It's just kind of converting basic RPG combat brain into a schoolyard setting. That's really all I've got going creatively speaking for this, because I can't let myself get bogged down too far into trying to find a way to make myself attached to this, because that's been taking up too much of my time, and then I wind up scrambling for the last 2 hours. Like, after I get off stream on Tuesdays, by the way, which is usually around 10 o'clock, for those last 2 hours, I am losing my absolute mind, going crazy trying to get last-minute things situated, connected, and in that process, I find various things that need to be fixed. I try and run several builds, because the entire time I'm testing in the editor, I'm never exporting it out to a build to try and test it as an executable file, because that takes time to have it do that. And I can't test it like that each and every time I have to test it for each minor thing I'm adding to it. That's a thing that you do when you're like getting ready to try and get a beta out or something. So when I try and do the builds, they break. They're busted, something doesn't work, I have to go in, start making last minute changes, edits, and that winds up possibly breaking other things. It's so much at the last second that, though I know this class is intended for teaching people to focus on the core design principles and getting those implemented properly, putting too much time into any of those design principles without getting to reach to all the other ones is going to result in exactly what has been happening. And I get easily dragged into minute details because my brain wants to know those things as it's building, because or else it will delay on it, it'll lag on it, it'll get stuck. This class is a good example and good practice in what crunch time development is like for those that don't necessarily have the ability to choose what their brain will focus on. Rather, for those that do have the ability to choose that, and for those of us that really don't, it's a little bit harder to get that. Because for sure, I am I love coming up with the details, the story, I'm actually known to be kind of like the reality police in development projects and development cycles, because I want to know, how is our character able to do this thing? Do you understand the mechanics of how that would work? Because I, as a player, would always be curious about how these things worked within the concept of the game's logic. If someone's got psychic abilities, explain to me how those psychic abilities work. Don't just say they were born with it and they look at stuff and it moves. Okay, if you're doing like a no dialogue type of game where it's just, you know, visual storytelling, kind of like the well, there's a lot of games that fit that example. People can go look for their own examples on that, but like if you're gonna do that type of game, yeah, sure, fine. But if not, you better be ready to have some sort of explanation for me, because I want to know. But apparently, You get a little too focused on that. And it has kind of shown in my developments for this class, too. Because I keep getting swept up in it. And not completing the parts of the design that need to be completed, you know? Object on effect sprites. No, I feel like some things are missing here. Village and winter assets. Does this even have things in the right? No, that's to assemble like a sprite map. We're not going for that one either. Are you gonna have anything? No. I know where these packs came from. I really need to separate those out to like sprite map backgrounds or sprite map tile map stuff, and then the like just loose backgrounds. Because it's a little hard to find the right ones. What is that? That'd be a ghetto-ass school. I actually don't mind that. Cool. Do, 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 do. Nice. I'm going to take those and put them into a folder in here that we're going to call Sprites. Jump into that folder and then drag these on in there. We're going to make sure that we hit these with the Apply Paper 2D texture settings. And then we're going to create sprites out of them. Now we can go through and hit save on these, so that way the autosave can leave us alone. But these are going to be background pieces that we can kind of put together. And I can find other parts to use for the sky if I want to. But it's probably the closest I have to like school sprites or something. Nah. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, I might take that one. Just drop it in there for the hell of it. If I want like a more generic background. I think that'll have to do for now, possibly? Question mark? Oh yeah, there were those images too. Yeah, no, that's more for like a 2D side-scrolling type of deal. Although they were really nice sprites. Anyway. Skipping over that now. I don't have anything set for, set up for a character yet either. And I don't think that I will pick a specific character type yet from this, because I am probably going to try and find somewhat more accurate sprites overnight. So I'll look for character sprites a little later. For now, I think we might need to find some better representing sprites for the schoolyard scrap. Let's go to Battle UI there. So let's go to Google first. And hello, you crazy Monopoly, you. And let's look up 2D sprite student. Hopefully it's not going to give me a bunch of students sprites, like student-made sprites. Although that wouldn't really matter either. I honestly wouldn't mind. Yo! Red Hood pixel character looking kind of dope, though. I might want to mess around with that one. That one looked cool. So for us, it'll be honestly better to find a character sprite that's got a front and back asset more than anything. This one actually looks like it does have that. And if I just have an idle animation, that's fine, because I'll just have it flash certain colors when they get hit and stuff. Okay. I can do that. Free character sprites. Oh! Oh! There we go. 90% off the game assets mega bundle. I don't need the mega bundle, but can I just get this particular pack? Yeah, I should be able to. The donation file is the same as the free one. Okay, cool. I'll probably look at that bundle for myself later. But just gonna get the basic ones that we need. Drop it here in the rapid game development folder. And let's take a look-see. We're gonna extract all. Alright, now we should be able to back out and find the unzipped one. There you are. Let's check out the 32 by 32s. Awesome! Yes! Wonderful. I love it. That one's colorful. That's the goth kid, obviously. It me for real, because it looked like a clown. No, that's the punk kid. And that's the idle animation. I see. These are just all their idols. That's perfect. The paid pack is the one that has their other animations, and I don't need those. Wonderful. So... I'll grab them all. Actually, wait, is this a walking sprite? Yeah, no, they gave us a walking sprite too. And the idol is just the same image. There might be a slight, like, up-down thing that's going on for them each. We're gonna take them all. Get rid of that. I thought that would take a little longer. I'm glad it didn't. So let's go ahead and start sorting this and say backgrounds. Go all the way down through this and go ahead and move that there. Wonderful. New folder. Characters. Let's drag these in there. Select all of them. Make sure that we apply those paper 2D texture settings and then make... Actually, we need to extract sprites from each one because of the fact that it's split up like that. So we know that they're 32 by 32s. We can work with that. We can say... Hello? Oh, I see. You're not the thing I was intending to look at there. Extract sprites. There we go. So we go to extract sprites, we go to grid, and then we set the cell width and height to 32 by 32. And then we lament at our failures. These are 48 by 48s. It lied to me. That's wild. Obscene, even. For naming template, these are... that. Yes. Behold what is very likely our first enemy. Create flipbook. Idle front. This is character 6, right? Alright, let's take a look at how this looks. Okay, so there is a little up and down to it. I figured. I could tell from a distance, even with needing glasses and things being that small, I could tell there was some slight, like, 1 to 2 pixel difference in the top. So, yeah, look at him bounce. There you go. Slow it on down. Next, reverse, create flipbook, idle, back, pair 06. Set that again to 4. Awesome. These are children, don't worry. They will commit acts of unspeakable violence against one another, but don't worry, they're children. I don't think it'll need the other sprites, but just in case. Brain. Yeah, buddy. Now we're gonna set you back to 4. Accept. Move on. And left face. Idle underscore left underscore pair 06. Excellent. We have our flipbooks made. We can go... Let's go ahead and save all of these. Save everything, and then we can start splitting these up by their characters. Since we have 06 made, I'm just going to make the folder. That's everything up to there. Grab those, and... Oh, come on. No, we're not going to do that. This is not... There you go. I hate this loadout right here. I want this to be like a different thing that doesn't have this window here. How do we do? No. Keep it at tiles, I guess. Figure it out another time. Alright. Let's go back to character 6, idle. All the way back down to everything but the flip books. And drop those in there. Yes, move here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Flip books. Excellent. No, I don't want that to be my character sprite, obviously. We're gonna go with the nerd. Character 3. Obvious nerd type. We grid that up. Should be 48 by 48, right? Yeah, because even though I grabbed you from the 32 by 32 folder, you want to trick me. We extract those. Definitely want to hit save on those, and let's go ahead and get our key ones here, which is going to be idle, back, care 03. Idle right, care 03. Left, go left. Idle left. Care 03, that was already preset on there. Hell yeah. Create flipbook. Idle front. Care 03. Care 03. Correctly. Save them, and then we're still going to wind up moving them, but we need to go through them first and make sure that we set these to the appropriate values. Back, done. Front, done. And don't forget to bring it side to side. Close that out. No. Yes. Last one. Now I have at least 2 different characters that I can toss up as representations. Let's make a new folder in here called Care 03 and toss in what we have just created for that. Including these. We'll grab them and move them, and then we'll appropriately separate them into their new home, being a brand new folder that is not yet made. This is going to be here 03 underscore. Oh wait, was flipbooks first? Flipbook. Here 03. Good enough. Is that what the other one's like? Son of a bitch. I got it. Figured it out. I'm not the dumb. Cool. So... Oh, no, 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 no. Did not mean to move that. Thank you. Thank you. So now for this... Right. Would I be able to even put in a flipbook like that? Nope. Negative. So maybe the standard sprite. Where's my thing? Right. Up here? Up here? There it is. Hooray! I don't know what I want to bind that to. So instead, we're just going to keep this. It says run cycle. That is just the sprite for the run cycle. So now I guess I can do... This is that one. We'll go with that. Yeah, buddy. And then this one can become... Aha! Evil. Absolute evil incarnate. Next! This is gonna need another... I don't think that's a drop-down box, actually. There's a lot of tools in this that I have never, like, seen or used before, which is going to be an interesting learning curve. because I can't think of another way to do this in a simple way that would implement the turn-based system properly, the way that's being asked. Yeah. Not without, like, going way overblown and out of scope. This is rough. It's real rough. Never actually found a, what do you call it? GUI sprites. So, a good resource is the Spriters resource. Which lets you even get sprites from games that have previously existed. It's great. I needed UI. Some good UI sprites. Some GUI. Automap UI. They're giving us like UI icons. Bop it. Yes. The seeping dirty trash bin. It's wonderful. Oh, Mortal Kombat icons. Menu user interface icons. Alright, we're starting to get a little closer here. Menu, UI, and icons. Wait, UI and icons. Oh. Yeah, that's quite a few things there. I mean, I'm obviously not going to use the language that I don't understand, but I could definitely put some use to a small handful of these, I think. It also feels like it could be a bit much. Pixel UI. Oh, that's just Dance Dance Revolution. Let's take a look at Pixel UI expanded. Dance Dance Revolution plus buttons. Okay. There's a lot of things that are just marked as UI without really showing what their aesthetic choices would be. UI components and backgrounds. Zip contents 50. That's a lot of stuff. We'll take a peek. It says PlayStation 3 on it, but shouldn't matter. So UI settings, UI sprites. No, I don't like when it doesn't show me what's in there. Ultimate choice UI. Bro, show me what it is, what it has. Urgh. 233 things. Jesus Christ, no wonder you don't want to show even, like, at least a preview. A preview. Is that too much? It might have stuff. We'll save it. I'm gonna go to another location. Right, let's just circumvent the middleman here and just go straight to itch.io. Shall we? Let's look for GUI. Let's look for game assets specifically. Ooh, icons and weapons. Interesante. Mira que bueno. Not what we need though. Our students aren't that violent. They could be. Oh, those are paid ones too. Got to make sure that we select one that's not paid. Casual nature assets. Oh man. GUI UI plus animate assets. For free? Okay. Okay, those are some cute looking things there. Not what I'm looking for though. It's not bad. It's just not what I'm looking for. Ah. Oh god, that's a $20 pack. No, we don't go for... No, just no. This doesn't have a price on it, but it does have a sales tag on it. Is it like... No. Let's not. Free GUI mobile icons. We want to make sure also that we don't just get icons, because icons are just... I don't really need the icons. I need like the actual GUI assets. These borders are nice and things that I would enjoy having on them. Actually, these cursors are actually pretty boss too. Love your angled work. This isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. And are open for personal commissions. I might have them do some art assets for me. But we'll take these for now. Yep, drop that right in there. That folder's about to get chunky. Enchanted Temple. Minimalistic frames is what we're probably really after there. I wouldn't mind taking a look at some of their cursor stuff just for myself, though. I'll move that to somewhere more reasonable after. So by the looks of it, it looks like it just kind of gave me the raw sprites, which is okay, because then I can drag those in and cut them up as needed. I like this one. I really like that one. Yeah, I think we'll go with it. I wonder. Into the pits. Cool yard. Yeah. See, that's kind of the thing I wanted to have going, which does... I just realized that the buildings in the back are, like, really messed up. They could very well just... I could probably borrow from my post-apocalyptic pack if they got away with it. Yeah! Look at how messed up and janky that looks. That was great. Kids firing off fireworks and everything. It's a good time. Middle of their lunch period. So, I think I can work something. First, let's go back here. I can minimize those two character sprites. What more do I have? GUI. Or I'm just gonna put UI for right now. And we'll drag... Start with, I'm going to drag both of these, possibly? They're good choices for now. Take them all, honestly. I can make my choices, final choices, based off how they actually look when we're up to it. That one's not bad. I just really like the look and feel of this one. Like, this one really kind of hits for what I'm kind of feeling for this project. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like this one. noticed that it is smaller too, so I might need to see how it does when we blow it up a little. A foist. Let's take a look at style, normal. We can now pick image. So let's see. I haven't extracted those images yet. That is my foolish folly. Oh wow, for once an auto might have worked, but it won't. Ha, I caught that. Nice try. Oh no, it might have to be, actually. I'll have to discard those things, but sure. We'll have to auto this one. Just for now. Yeah, we get rid of that. We get rid of that. Because those two sprites don't serve a purpose. Everything else, though, can kind of serve a purpose. Yeah, no. So let's go into the sprites, let's go into the UI, and let's potentially start these swap outs. What do I want for that button? Hey! Looks alright. Or do I want... Ooh! Let's do that for the buttons for right now. And then for the background, we can do this one. Ugh. Let's go ahead and use our space. Let me use this one here too. Come on. Open. Wait. What am I? No, that's on a text image. Damn it. There you go. Did I get rid of the text on the... Yeah, I did on the main menu. I can do that for the sub menu as well, unless I just want to do this for now. We'll do that for right now, just so that way I can keep it visible as kind of a reminder for myself what that one's for. Because this is going to be a menu that keeps itself relatively hidden until it is called up. But now that we've expanded this box, I kind of feel like we need to respect the space a little. Can I hide this? Can y'all let me just hide that for a second? Thank you. Not that. Set that to 200. No. 350. Ah. But then let's set that Y size to 100. Size X 350, size Y 100. Cool, let's do that. 350, 100. So good! Nope, undo that. Whatever that was, undo it. Oh, I'm grabbing the scroll box. That's technically what I wanted to be a part of the sub-action area thing. Yes, I see. What if I get rid of sub-menu text and add scroll box to sub-action area? Yes! It works. Now let's go ahead and set our sizes. 350, 100. What's the value of that button again? Well, it's going to be about 350. Plesiosaur from the Mesozoic era told me. Too much movement. Down. Over. Closer. Better. Yeah. Over one. Good. We have our buttons. Hooray! It looks like something minor. Let's set... For this bar in specific, I have idea. It is on the bar. Nope, it's on the text again. So let's go to the bar, and let's set this one. Undo my movements right there. We don't want that moving around right now. The revealable enemy stats will pretty much have the same window. You grabbed onto the text again, didn't you? Yes, you did. I want this one to have generally the same thing. Do it. And same with this one. Do it. For this update window field that we're going to have that will, you know, inevitably one day update text that is going to be populated within it, I would like to have one of these general bars, like this one here, or that one there. Probably this one here. It looks just slightly larger. Yes, good. Good enough. So in here is where we'd put like health, mana. Actually, no, we have those represented here, so it would be strength, intellect. We'll put accuracy and evasion. And what? Luck. We'll put luck as well. I want to have criticals be an opportunity. So we have those. Where'd that sub-menu go? You can be unrevealed now. Your scroll box, which we, you know, cannot see anything of. I don't know about a dragged thumb image. I'm not sure about any of these, honestly, for the scroll bar, because again, I've never really made one here. Navigation, destination, into view, top or left, center. Don't automatically scroll. Navigation or child widget will handle this. Yeah. Wheel scroll multiplier. That's cool. Flip to bounds. Alright, there's some stuff on here, but this is all just like the styling stuff. Let's put those in menu. Scroll box. I'll be honest, I might have to cut the stream a little earlier today because I'm really hungry. It's not that I haven't been eating or anything, I just, for some reason, I'm having one of those days where I just feel hungrier earlier in the day. Or it's not necessarily even earlier in the day. My mealtime was technically an hour ago and I didn't eat enough before I started. So I might have to cut us off a little early, which is fine, because I still have a lot of research to do to even get to a point where we can build with this. So this whole stream is basically just going to be the setup process for this. Because blueprints is empty, so we're going to go ahead and make a blueprint class, and it's going to be a 2D paper character of some sort. Nope, it's going to be a regular character, and then we'll use a paper 2D sprite on it, I guess, because it doesn't want to make it automatically 2D. Layers. Type paper. Paper 2D. We don't have we're not going to be using paper ZD either, even though it's a free thing. There we go. Paper character. Behaves like a character, but uses a U-paper flipbook component instead of a U-skeletal mesh component as a visual representation. The variable named mesh will not set up on this character. Okay. So this new paper character is going to be... Just gonna do player character for right now. I can't think of anything specific that I want to give for this. For the sprite, we're gonna give it that idle back, long back. Because I'm now realizing that the whole thing is not actually going to actively be in the UI. A lot of the choices and everything is going to be, but the character is going to have to be like positioned right. Our camera is not going to be something that is a moving component. It's going to be like a stationary locked-in battle cam. And the UI will be overlaid on top of it. Yeah. That'll work. So I'll worry about the size of our sprite later. We're going to want to give our character several things here for reference, such as... Actually, hang on. Before I give you anything. Is there... like kind of a data thing? Like a data table? Yeah. Oh no, I don't think it's the right thing. Yeah, it's not the right thing I was thinking of. Maybe though. string table, imported spreadsheet table. Imported spreadsheet table is curves. I must not be thinking of the correct thing here. Is there something that I want to create that will basically have like certain stats like represented in there, so that way I can just call on that and set the things within that, so to speak. I know I've done it before, it's just difficult for me to remember certain things. It's a data asset for not the right stuff. Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it! My hunger is sucker punching me right now, and it is disrespectful. Cascade's been phased out. We already checked that. Yeah, I think what I may be thinking of may have been a Unity thing. Unfortunate. Okay, so we'll start working on these. We want to go ahead and create variables, integers, for our variables first. So we'll go ahead with integer for strength. We'll duplicate that down. Intellect. Duplicate that down for... what is it? Evasion? Luck is for the combat stuff. And accuracy. Do we want health as a float or as whole numbers? I think, honestly, that health can remain as an integer. So we have max health, we have current health as integers. We can set a float as our combat, as our damage. The only reason we want to set the float as a the damage as a float is because we'll be doing several different calculations with multiplication, and that can sometimes turn whole numbers into weird things. So we'll see, because the numbers will be multiplying, like the multipliers for stuff might also be in float value. So all right, let's say that health is also a float for the hell of it. And I'm gonna save a float as percentage or percent chance. feel like that's going to be one that's going to be reused a few times. What else? Right, representations of our enums, that's right. So we want to set a current state or current status effects. We're going to make this into hang on, let me see what the values are inside of this. Make sure it's the right one. Yep, that's the right one. We'll need it set to none. But we also need it to be... There you go. We will always have that as index 0. If we apply a status effect, we remove the none. And we, like, the very first step is going to be remove index 0. And then we're going to add a new index to it. Like, we clear out the whole thing and then add the statuses to it. When the statuses get removed, they remove themselves. If there's nothing else in there, we'll clear it out and add none back into it. I know it's a little roundabout, but it's kind of the way it's going to work. Also, I feel like I need to change that type again. That should be a set. Thank you. And by default, it'll have that one singular status effect of none, doing the same exact thing that we just said. Current turn. Stage. There you go. Turn state. Compile that. Starting at upkeep. It's fine. We'll need a game started variable. Good. Also make that lowercase. I'll go through and camel case everything properly as well afterwards, because I did start doing a whole capitalize every first thing using upper camel casing, which can make my brain enter the dumb. I don't know what to select next here for player stuff. Let's look at our battle UI again. Magic. Or rather, menu. Chosen menu. Submenu. There you go, menu option. That's what I called it. This should also not be that. There you go. Turn state should be a single one. Menu option should also be a single choice. Chosen submenu currently would be none. Those were on the top level there. And then we'd have to do a chosen attack, a chosen magic, or a chosen item. So we want to load that with the usable items. We want to load this with our magic abilities, and we want to load this with our attack abilities. We'll hit compile so that way it will show us all of said abilities. Cool. So it's basically going to land on one of those as the first default thing. The abilities are all just going to be there. The items are going to be there, but they will either be usable or unusable based on the charges that the items have in them and or the amount of mana you have to cast your magic abilities. And your physical attack should only depend on if you're alive or not. If you're not living, you're not attacking. That's for damn sure. You have current health and max health, so we're also going to set a max mana. Make that afloat. You'll float too. We'll duplicate that into a current mana. And we'll take these and we'll move them kind of closer to the health values. Change the casing for this. I should probably actually ditch this value. We won't worry about that one right here. Percent chance, that can stay. We're gonna go through and we'll leave the actual attributes. No, we won't. I'm gonna put attribute before each one. What did I just do? We're going to say attribute underscore accuracy. Okay. We have those, we have these. I'm going to put the game started bool all the way at the top. So I don't want the submenu of our battle UI showing itself unless we have selected something from here. Is this main action area again? Right there. It's those. All 4 buttons. Fine. I don't have anything bound for them yet. Because there's their interaction is focusable, yeah, obviously. Click method, down and up, yeah, yada yada yada. We haven't told it what it should do, or anything like that yet. We'll be able to do that here on the on-clicked, on-pressed, released, hovered, all that other stuff. We can set all of our binding logic for each button there. This is going to be 2 separate boxes for the information that they'll represent. This will link to our player stats along with the number, so it'll get like the attribute name, and then it'll put the attribute amount. It'll be the same over here. Afflictions there. Afflictions for us we can probably put as a little side part on the bar over here, let them stack up, but for the enemy we can keep it there. I'm thinking, do we want to ditch this this metal boilerplate and go for like this type of style for our personal one for the player as well? I feel like it might actually fit a little better. You think? We we like just do this? I know that I don't want them to be like too close together that they're overlapping their actual hitboxes. That has been something that I've seen happen. It's something that I've caused to happen before. Trying to be too, well, exactly what you're seeing right now. Too meticulous with it, trying to get everything lined up, practically touching, but not quite touching, making it try and be perfect. And then it messes up, because I made it too close. Oh, I see, because the anchors. If I want that there, and then we'll set the anchors. Yeah, there you go. So if I set the anchors first, then I can set the rest of the, I guess, thingamabob. Yeah, looks like it. Neat. I'll have to section that up better. I really need to learn how to use these UI tools, because I really am not proficient with them at all. And I don't like it. But I have to make do. I think I actually have all the things I need for the player character to latch onto there. I am going to need... First, let's do a... Not a custom event. Let's do a function that will randomize stats or randomize attribute values. And let's see. Assignable points. I'm just gonna say attribute points. It's going to be an integer. Let's compile that, and let's say that there are approximately 10 attribute points. And let's say that any value less than 3 is going to be -2. Any value less than 6 is going to be -1. Which means 0, 1, and 2 will be -2 on your modifier. 3, 4, and 5 is -1 on the modifier. 6, 7, and 8 is no debuff on your modifier. It's a flat 0. And then 9 plus is going to start getting into +1 and whatnot. So I think I don't know where I could like find a way to set that specific conversion, but I'm gonna have to do it the long way. I know that there's probably easier ways to do what I'm picturing in my head, but I'm gonna deal with it my way for now. So we're going to we're gonna have to set each of the attributes. I was thinking of just putting all the attributes into an array, like an integer array, and then for each value in the integer array, set it to a random value between 1 and 5. But then that would just give me a bunch of random numbers that don't really have any real associations. And I'm not sure if it would spit out the appropriate things by name. So we're going to just put a randomizer thing and plug in the thing there. Set attribute agility, set attribute intellect, set attribute luck, set attribute strength. Honestly, strength, I like strength being first on the list. I don't know, my brain is weird. I need to organize this the right way here. And in fact, we're going to do it with the sequence. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're loving it. That's going to be the last one. It's going to be the third one. Fourth and fifth. Okay. There we go. 4, 10, 5. And so for each one, they will have gone through something that will pick random integer between 0 and max -1. So we have to remember that the random integer thing is going to be exclusive, not inclusive, for only the max value. The minimum value is going to be 0, and it's going to be 0 inclusive, so it will include 0 in its possibilities, but it will not spit out the max value as its actual max. It'll always do it -1. So we need a better range. Random integer in range. There we go. With, once again, random integer between... this is inclusive for both of them. That's actually better. So we'll say minimum is 1, maximum is going to be 6, which will put them at the baseline neutral. And then we can copy this over a few times. Set it to 5, actually. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, wait, that's right. It's not its own actual node for a calculation, so I can just plug that in all over. So we have this to determine what our starting loadout of stats will be. And this is all still a part of our randomize attribute values thing. So what we're going to do next is, on all of these, a for each loop. It's either going to be a for each loop or just a for loop. Probably a for loop. Executes loop body for each index from start index to stop index inclusive, which is good. So we have a total of 10 points that we can use. It'll have to go through one by one. And I'll say that we can assign between 1 and 2 points on each. Because we only have 10 points available currently. But I feel like this is still not going exactly right. So let's split this up. We'll randomize starting attribute values. So that gives us the quick baseline of where to start. And something's bothering me. Something's always bothering me, let's be honest, but something's bothering me about the way this is looking right now. And that's because... That's right. The plugins. The pluggity plugs. Of course. How could I forget my electronic nodes? Everything else is, oh, not saved. Alright. Now it should be saved. We're going to see, make sure that my electronic nodes are working. We've already got some of the UI started up. I'm going to take some time tonight and tomorrow while I'm not streaming to try and do a crash course education for myself on how to handle what I'm trying to do, essentially. Because like I said, I don't know a good amount about using the UI tools, and that's no matter what engine I'm in. I'm much better with like the scripting part or the putting things into the engine and arranging them as they should be, and the meticulous things like that. But when it comes to the user interface that's going to be like always present and available and kind of overlaid over things that are moving and stuff like that, it winds up getting a little stressy and confused in my head, for lack of any other better, more adult terminology to use. But we can see here we've got our nodes nice and electrician blueprinty looking. That's so much better, in my honest opinion. And then we bring that down. Oh, get a little even, get a little balance. Next would be something to assign, what do you call it? Assign an attribute point to the intended attributes without like losing something along the way. Let's see. Assign attribute points. Have a minor idea. That's agility, that's luck, that's accuracy. So theoretically, these would have all already been randomized between a number between 1 and 5. We're also going to create a modifier value for each of these, so it'll be a modifier instead of attribute as the underscore. So we'll duplicate them all and basically just say we'll delete the 0, 1 that gets added on there, and we'll replace attribute with modifier. And the attribute points here would be the amount of times to go through the loop. First index 0, last index would be the length of the amount of attribute points. And I think a good way for this would be... let's do a quick branch and say if something is greater than or equal to I'm trying to come up with like a drop chance. I'll have this one be a 1, but this is going to have to be a float, because the values that we're going to compare are basically like a 50-50 chance choose between the two. Multiply, set this to a float, double precision, 0.5. So we're gonna multiply 1. And that'll just give me 50. Why is my brain freaking out right now? This should not be needed. Yeah, it's just gonna give me the same thing, okay. This value I can tune and say, attribute chance. I don't know why that shit's all caps. .5, so it's got a 50% chance of assigning a point right now on a yes-no, basically, kind of situation. Based off the math, if it's greater than 0.51, yeah, we need that to be a float too. 0.51. There you go. If it's got the greater half of that chance, it's gonna be good. If it does that, if it's true, we're going to subtract. We're gonna decrement from attribute points. Wait a minute. I'm not sure this can work the way I'm doing it right here. This is not good. That would wind up in a weird loop that would wind up breaking. I could already tell that, because if we're setting the last index to be the attribute points, then when it goes through the loop and completes the loop body over here, it's going to go back through and check which index it's at and where the last index is. So if I make it a part of the loop to subtract from what is giving us our final index value, then there's a chance that we will wind up subtracting from that value an amount that would put our current loop higher than our last index. That would wind up breaking something. Sometimes you gotta machine brain things and think about the consequences and ramifications of something before you even bother to test it. it should become second nature after a certain amount of time. So we're gonna leave it there while I think more thoroughly on this and execute on all the various things that I said I would need to. Sorry, my chest hurts. Give me a sec. Not like in a concerning chest hurt way. I was talking when a hiccup happened, and it just kind of caused like a vacuuming effect on my lungs within my chest. It's fine. Gotta love hiccups. Okay. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry that we're going to be cutting off a little early, but like I said, I'm a human being. I need to have some food in me, and I am getting close to a point of ravenous, so I'm going to go and take care of that, make sure that I don't eat my stove. So, what we accomplished so far today over the course of our we actually did almost make it to about 4 hours. In the course of our stream today is we set up basically what is going to be the soft look of our UI, our battle UI, with the panels and all that stuff, and we started up on creating a character class by giving it some attributes and creating several enums to track our turn-based system, to track our chosen selected menu options, and to control what abilities, magic abilities, and items are being chosen. I know I did most of that stuff right there towards the end, just kind of speeding through really quick, but we'll have more progress and more things to do come Sunday. I appreciate y'all so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and give the shout outs as per usual to those that participated in the stream today, including but not limited to Darklight, Omar Miari, Jacob Williams, and Abman. Thank you all so much for being here and chatting me up today. I appreciate all questions. I appreciate the input that we had. The Sharpie Haze from Abman is going to be a fun one. And thank you also for sharing your story, Williams. That was fun. And that just about covers it for today. I will see y'all in the next one, Snowflakes. Well, you have it showing up like that in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can really do about that. Maybe have your name not show up that way in YouTube. Stay frosty.